Hey y'all, we have launched our very own merch on the Letters 2 Media merch store. We have a bunch of good looking t shirts and hoodies. If you want your own Haddonfield Horror merch, click on the link in the description.
Being the outsider, Stokely. But aren't you tired of being something you're not? I know I am.
Welcome back to the Haddonfield Horrors podcast, where we review horror movies and horror franchises. I'm Mark,
I'm Tawan.
I'm Maria.
and today we're reviewing The Faculty, released in 1998, screenplay by Kevin Williamson, story by David Retcher and Bruce Kimmel, and directed by Robert Rodriguez. Maria, can you give the people the plot summary?
The nerd, the football captain, the cheerleader, the outcast, the drug dealer, and the new girl. It's all up to them to save Harrington High School and the rest of their small Ohio town from a body snatching alien parasite. But the faculty of their school isn't making it easy. They're swiftly becoming scary, mindless versions of their former selves, and they're intent on turning every last person they see. With a little help from the druggy teens' homemade meds, they might just have a fighting chance.
So, The Faculty, like I said last week, this is pretty much like the Kevin Williamson hip version of Invasions of the Body Snatcher. And I don't know. I kind of have a soft spot for this movie because this is one of the movies that I watched with my grandmother as a kid. So I kind of have like a biased nostalgia for it. But I can also recognize that like this movie got issues. This movie is something. But what do y'all think, Maria? What were your initial thoughts? Because this was your first time watching this movie, right?
Yeah, honestly, it was better than I thought it was gonna be. The beginning was really like cringy, which I think that's exactly what they were going for. They definitely wanted to put on the role of the nerd, of the cheerleader on like the characters. So I kind of understand that. But like, and honestly, I didn't think I was gonna like the movie. I thought after like the first 30 minutes, I was kind of already over it. But then it caught my attention, and then by the end, I actually really liked it.
Tuan, about you, what are your initial thoughts of the movie?
I really like this movie. Like, this is one of those, like, it's not even like a guilty pleasure. It's just like one of those movies that, like, I just like to watch. If I'm, like, say, I don't know, like, what I want to watch, if I, like, see it, I'll, like, put it on. Cause it, I don't know, it's just something about the way Kevin Williamson was, like, did, like, teen type of movies and stuff, especially mixing the horror and everything with it. Like, he does it in a way that, like, I don't know, I just like to watch it. And I don't remember the first time I seen this movie, but I just always remember liking this movie, even from whenever the first time it was that I saw it. um and I also just remember the cast, because there's so many like notable names in this cast that's the one thing I definitely remember, whenever I
That's
like think
one
about it.
thing that I picked up around on this time because like it's Usher, it's Jordana Brewster, it's what's the lead guy's name? He was in
Elijah Wood.
Halloween and some not Elijah Wood. Well, yeah, Elijah Wood, but then there's also Josh Hartnett and Shane Hoggis. I don't know how to pronounce that
Freaking
man's
John
last name.
Stewart's in here.
Right, and fucking the guy who played T2 in Terminator 2.
Yeah.
And then the chick who went to become Jean Grey.
Yep.
Like, this whole movie is like full of people who's like Selma Hayek. Like, come on.
Right? Like, they had a good thing. I think that's because Robert Rodriguez. I think they were just cool.
Yeah, but this is all like at this point, like of that teen cast, the most famous person of that teen cast would have been Elijah Wood, and then Josh Hartnett.
And maybe
Well,
Usher.
Josh Hart. Usher. I would say Usher and Elijah Wood. Usher because of his music, and then Elijah Wood because he had been in a bunch of movies beforehand. But Josh Hartnett, like He was filming this while he was filming H2O. He filmed them both at the same time.
Mm.
So he didn't really get his big break yet.
Didn't Kevin
But
Williamson
like,
write that too?
yep, Kevin Williamson rewrote Halloween 2. Halloween H2O. So Kevin Williamson was in his bag in the late 90s. That's all I'm gonna
Yeah, he
say.
definitely was.
But I mean, this movie, like Maria said, it isn't bad. Like once it really gets going, and you really start to understand what the hell the plot is, it's like, oh, okay. And then the whole like mystery of who the queen is also like a good ride. Like I remember my first time watching it, I had no idea who the queen could be. But then watching it as an adult, it's like, isn't it obvious that the new bitch is the queen? Because like, who else could it be?
Yeah.
But then it's also, but then it's also like, would they be that obvious to make the new girl the queen? Alien?
I was gonna say, yeah, I was thinking that too when I was giving it a rewatch. Like, I don't know why that also like crossed my mind. I was like, you know, I could see like on the first viewing, it gives like the almost like a who done it, almost like who's the leader, like blah 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 blah. But like rewatching it, I'm like, yeah, the new bitch, like, like why wouldn't she be the the queen, or like, you know, the leader of whatever is happening right now? Like they, like no one else knows them. Like y'all have been around each other for a while. Like y'all all go to school together. Like I feel like if it was one of y'all, this would have happened already.
Mm-hmm. It was too obvious, but I'm like, eh. What about you, Maria? Did you have any idea who the queen might have been?
Honestly, yeah. I feel like Mary Beth was acting kind of weird from the beginning, to be honest. Um, I I had a feeling it was her because I think, yeah, in the beginning she was being kind of weird, but then she kissed Zeke, and I was like, maybe not. But then she started acting weird again, and I was just like, okay, maybe it is her. She was just my number one like um suspect from the beginning, though, to be honest, because yeah, literally as soon as she came, they had aliens, you know. And then, not to mention, I think when everybody was like sniffing the scat, you never really saw her do it. Like they kind of panned away from her a little bit, so I was
Mm,
like, that's kind of suspicious. So
that's
I kind of had
weird.
a feeling it was her.
Yeah, I feel like it was almost too obvious that I was like, huh. Y'all didn't even try to be clever with this because it's kind of like if it actually had ended up being Jordana Brewster's character, it would have been like a bigger shock for me. Like, okay, damn, it's been this person they've known pretty much all their lives in a small town, just like waiting. Or it could have just been like the queen just took over her body, and it had to be that she was actually the queen, just like camouflage.
That's
But you
true.
know, whatever. But Maria, Tuan, were there any scenes that stood out? Good, bad, indifferent. Tuan.
Yes, I think one of my favorite scenes in this movie is definitely the part where they take the drugs to see um who could possibly be infected.
Now you, Delilah.
No.
Just because it's such a high school way to go about it, like take these drugs to see if you are it or not it. And I don't know, just the fact of that is like funny to me, but also like they not built the tension up. They do that good like split of like kind of comedic and then immediately go into like, well, what the fuck, when Jordana tries to sniff it, because you know they're all like high as fuck laughing and everything, and then they have to get serious as hell. Like it's shit like that in real life. Like if you know you smoked with somebody or you did something, then some shit happens, everybody gets paranoid. It felt like a real life thing, but
That one friend who always gets like a bad high and kind of just like snaps
Yes.
everyone out of it. Yeah.
Yes, and like it was literally just like one of those moments. I think that's why I like it because the whole like mood just shifts, and then like she just like goes crazy and like bashes everything in the way. So I do like that scene.
I'm usually that friend.
Stop. Another scene that I liked was the part with the principal when she was like getting chased by the gym teacher.
Would Miss Drake please?
And then the fucking was it the music teacher? I think like the librarian. Um, they like she like turned on her and ended up killing her. It felt like like even though it's like not, but it felt like a Scream moment, like thinking you're safe, but then the other ghost face gets you. And I think out of besides that one, are we into dislikes as well, or are we just doing likes?
Huh?
Are we doing dislikes or just scenes that we liked?
It's both. It's
All right,
the whole
got you.
shebang.
I think a scene that I didn't like, just because he was stupid in it, was when the science teacher John Stewart decided to put his hand by an unknown like parasite.
And as a science teacher, you
Exactly.
should know better.
That like every time I see that, it pisses me off. I'm like, okay, you put on like you might as well not put on gloves. Like you don't know what that thing could do to you, and end up getting bit. Like you, at least you saw like an object or something to touch it before you're gonna touch it.
Maria, any scenes you liked, disliked, indifferent? Anything stand out?
Um, I mean, I agree with Tawana about the first scene. Yeah, that scene definitely gave me like Scream vibes. For a second, I forgot it was like a an alien movie. Um, and yeah, that stupid teacher who was like touching. Like, first of all, when he put on his gloves, he was like, "Time for a cavity search." Like, who says that? First of all, and I actually also really enjoyed the special effects. They were better than I thought they were gonna be, actually. Um, and another scene that I really liked was when this was like at the ball game and like it's raining and they kill the principal. So Stan kind of like goes out to see if like everybody's normal again, and he like goes to like his coach and like and like the players, and you see like the things coming out of their mouths to
With
like
the
drink the
oh,
I
I
water.
love that
love that
scene. Yeah, I do
scene.
love
I
that
was
scene.
like,
I love that scene.
it was for
Like
like
if I
a
saw that, I would literally shit myself.
yeah, it was actually really creepy. Like I was like, what the hell? Like I think I like gasped. I was like, there's no. It was like for like an older movie. It was really good. Like that scene was so good. Um, what other scene? Oh, I also kind of liked. Well, I mean, I didn't really like this, but I thought it was kind of disgusting when Casey manages to like kill. Well, okay. Well, first of all, when he like manages to like trap the queen or whatever like under the bleachers, and like he as he like stabs her with that drug, she like spits the her like larvae or whatever to his face, and you can see it dig into his face. And then as she dies, they crawl out, and all you see is like the scar. I was like, that's disgusting. That's
Yeah,
all.
I would never recover. I would literally never recover from that. I would need to be put in an institution.
Yeah, honestly, I'm surprised anybody recovered from that. I like okay, I'm not. I will say this right now. I'm not a survivor, especially when it comes to like invasions. But like, it looks so painful. Like when they first got the nurse, and they like went in her ear, and like there's just blood every. It looks so bad. It looks so painful, and then it's actually kind of something I liked about the movie. I liked that you see how it hops from person to person, and it looks like literally a parasite, a huge parasite going into like a host, and you can just see like the transformation. I don't know. It was actually pretty disgusting. But I enjoyed it because I don't know. It looked. I mean, not that I've ever seen, people get infected by alien parasites, but it looked pretty like realistic, I guess. Because it just looks so. Ugh. I don't know. That's just me.
No, I agree. Like it's like if it was to be an actual thing, like not like obviously we wouldn't know whatever the fuck that would look like, but I could see it looking like that.
Yeah, it looks so. It was better than I thought it was gonna be.
For me, a scene that stood out was when that one teacher got her head chopped off, and then like the tentacles came out and it just started to crawl. I was like, what the fuck? It was both funny and creepy. Funny because like the CGI is dated, but creepy because like damn, like this bitch's head is crawling. And then the scene in the pool. Because when that big ass alien jumped into the pool and was swimming fast as fuck behind them, I was like, oh shit. Uh the entire locker room scene was very intense for me with Elijah Wood and Josh Hartnett
Oh yeah.
when they were like trying to hide from her. That was good, and I liked that throughout the entire like first act, you're seeing all these students like line up to go get their physical with the nurse or whatever, and we all know what's happening, but the other students are kind of just like being typical high school students. They're not really paying attention to what the hell's happening around them, while all their classmates are being infected, and it kind of just I don't know. I was like, this is true to form. I probably wouldn't have paid any attention. But then the teacher, so Josh Hartnett's character, the druggie, he was held back. He had failed like once or twice, right?
Hmm.
So he's older than everyone else. That was said in the movie, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. So it wasn't illegal that him and his teacher are pretty much
Yes.
dating
I
at the end.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was thinking about that right now, actually, and I was gonna say it once we were done, but I was like, "What the fuck is going on right now?" Because no, he first of all he only failed. I guess it wasn't illegal, but he only failed a year, so he's only 1 year older than a regular high school student. And this teacher,
So
I
he should
was
be like
like
18.
18 or
Probably
19,
like
I'm assuming.
freshly 18.
Okay, so it's unethical because you shouldn't be fucking your students, but like it's not. She won't be going to prison. She's not Mary Kay Letourneau.
Yeah,
I
basically.
That's
mean,
what's like because I've seen this movie several times, but this is the first time I'm like, wait, are they like is are they dating at the end? Because what the fuck?
I don't
But
know.
I get you, Maria. Yeah,
I don't think I don't know. I don't know.
I think it plays at the end. Like they're together because she was like watching him play football. He's a changed man now.
But like it's still kind of weird because it's like you're watching your high school student who I'm assuming he's been in her class for more than 1 year
For like 5 years.
watching them play football at the high school that you work at with a bunch of other high school kids. I don't it's just I just I don't know. I just cannot like she did look young, and I mean teachers nowadays are young. I don't know how old she is. She looks like she's in her late 20s, early 30s. I think it's weird. Um I still think it's super weird. Like that whole setting to me was like cuz it's like
It was.
it's like you watch him play football and then what? You're going to go back to teaching him in class the next day? Like I don't know.
I mean, they all just did survive an alien invasions. I guess we can give them a little grace. Nah, that shit was still weird. Fuck that. Like, at
Yeah.
least let him graduate first.
Yeah, like let him not be enrolled
But
in the school where you work.
but Maria, were there any kills that stood out for you? Good, bad, or indifferent?
I guess like the scene where she gets her head chopped off. Cause I don't. I'm assuming that the aliens gave them very like, um, very great healing or regenerative powers. Cause like, there's no way she survived getting her head like sliced off. And I wonder if they were, because I know that they said that like that because in the movie they had mentioned how how like their loved ones were acting somewhat the same, like a little bit, but they were also kind of like um just like a little different, a little odd. And now like I wonder if these people were like conscious while these parasites were in their bodies and like making them do stuff, cuz I just cannot imagine the feeling of getting your head sliced off and then you feel your head moving around and your body. I don't know, it's just I don't know. It's just so weird to see what they do to like, cuz I mean they shot their principal and then but she was still alive. And then like again, that weird teacher got her head chopped off and she was fine and still alive and dating her student. And I don't know, it's just weird. It's like nothing ever happened. But I guess on that note, I did really also like the kill of the queen. I liked how like because he like stabs her and then she like after like she throws her little larvae into like his face and then she like slowly just starts to like dry out and kind of like disappear. I thought that was pretty cool. It was not what I expected actually as he killed her, but it was good. Um, and also yeah, the beginning where they do kind of kill the original principal, I guess, because because they like stab her, like it was like on like it was very like slasher, which was cool. And I think that's it actually.
Tuan, kills that stood out.
Y-
Good, bad, or indifferent?
Yeah, I think my favorite was the kill of the science teacher, Mr. Furlong, when he tried to infect them, and Zeke injected the drugs into him, and that's when they like found out that it was like something that they could use against him. It was just the way that like he died and stuff in there. That was like a good um that was like a good scene, and then gave us something to actually know that the characters could use to their advantage, which which in itself is funny because it's like the drug dealer actually was useful. It's usually never not the case, but yeah, I think that was it, and also the killing of the queen, that was a good one as well. Um, like even though like obviously is not like the best, I do think that the effects have still held up pretty well for this movie.
Like, they surprisingly still look good.
Yeah.
But speaking of looking good, Tuan, what are your thoughts on Coach Willis?
This man was meant to play a villain in anything that he's in. Like every time I see him in anything and he's supposed to be like a villain, bad guy, whatever, he just gives me that energy. He's like it's like this is what you were meant for. Like that dude is genuinely fucking creepy. Like the scene where he was confronting the principal near the beginning of the movie, that shit was genuinely creepy. Like when he was like standing in front of her and everything, he stabbed her with a pencil and shit. Like that was crazy. Um, but he was definitely like, besides like him being like the first one infected, and also like going on to infect like the other people. Um, there wasn't much like given of his like character other than being like hard ass like gym coach, which is just like a standard in like teen movies or whatever, especially at this time. I think we mentioned it back when we reviewed Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Like the coach was just a hard ass for like no reason, and it was like the kind of the same deal with this one. But I feel like I don't know. I just feel like for him, it just for this actor, it just works for him.
Maria, what are your thoughts on Coach Willis?
I think he played the whole alien thing pretty well. It was pretty cool. Um, I like that he wasn't like totally completely strange. I like that he because I can see why other people thought he was normal. Because he was, I guess, technically normal. You know, they still had a part of their personalities, just not everything. I really liked just how I guess not completely normal everything was, but everybody still acted the same. The only person that really changed was that one teacher. Um,
Miss Burke.
yeah, but like Coach Willis, he was still the same. He was still, I mean, not completely the same. Every now and then he'll do something weird, but I also feel like the things he was doing wasn't completely weird. Like you can easily just write him off as like, well, he's just I don't know why he's out here standing in the rain, but people do that. um, but I liked his character. I liked that like we knew he was a host for like a parasite, but I can definitely I just liked that whole like balance of is he, isn't he, like maybe there's something wrong with him, maybe not. I thought that was pretty cool.
Well, since you're on a roll, Maria, tell us your thoughts on Miss Burke.
I don't know what's up with that lady. I just like I didn't like how in the beginning they made her so timid. Like, ma'am, you're a teacher. There's no way you should be softly speaking and mumbling to these students. Um, I just don't under. I don't know why she was there. I don't know why she had to be a love interest. Um, but like that one scene though, where I think most of the schools already kind of like taken over by the parasites, and she like comes up to him. She's wearing like this tight red dress or whatever, and she starts going off on him. That was a pretty good scene because she she got him so good. Like I don't understand. I would have started crying. I don't know. Um, but she got him. I just kind of wish. I don't understand why they made them like romantic interests. It's so weird to me. I don't understand it. I feel like I liked the whole thing where in the beginning she when he was like selling his stuff, and she was trying to talk to him, and she was like like you're so smart, like, you should definitely be doing something with because he was extremely smart, and I wish they would have done like an actual teacher student relationship instead of like making her into um just another instead of kind of making her into kind of just another girl in love. I did not like that. They just made her, it's like if you were gonna have her sitting in the bleachers like that, they should have just done another young girl, instead of a teacher. It just seems that like everybody in like afterwards everybody kind of found their place, and they all broke down stereotypes or whatever. um it just would have been cool to see, I guess, more. I just feel like her character could have developed a little bit more. You don't really see that when she's just waving at this 19-year-old man, fresh out, not even fresh out of high school yet. um it would have been cool to see her find her voice and finally actually teach as she should have been, as she should be. Didn't like that they made her a romantic interest, 'cause I feel like it kind of made no sense. And I know they kept pushing the fact that he was older, but he literally just repeated like 1 year. Like there's not really a difference. Um, but I guess to each their own. I just don't understand why they had her, other than they just wanted her to make her to like a love interest for like Zeke, but it still doesn't make any sense. And I feel like they could have done so much with her character, especially because she was so shy and timid and quiet in the beginning as a teacher. Just for her to just sit in the bleachers, you know?
Tuan, what are your thoughts on Stokely?
I kind of liked Stokely's character, like every like even like you mentioned it at the beginning with the when Maria read the um like the plot summary, but she was our what did they call him, like in what was that, Breakfast Club, like the basket case or whatever, or like the outcast. But I liked her character, and I liked the actress that portrayed her as well. Um, if now if I was watching the movie for the first time, I probably would have thought maybe she has something to do with the aliens, just cause like, the look and vibe and stuff, like being like the outcast and everything. Um, I would probably think that, but after watching the movie and stuff, obviously that wasn't the case. But it was, I don't know, it was weird at the end how like she just like shed her goth image, and she just wasn't like that anymore. I mean, I guess now like she's not like the outcast or whatever, but it was just kind of like, I don't know, a weird switch up in my head. Um, did y'all feel that way?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I kind of wish they would have kept her whole goth look, because it's like, does that mean that she was just making herself an outcast like on purpose then?
That's what I got. Like I don't like. That's what I thought.
no, I think it was more of that like she changed who she was for a boy that she liked, which is even worse.
Oh yeah, fuck that.
I don't know, like that skirt, the
I think
outfit
that's
she
what.
was wearing at the end was awful. Like I wish they would have kept her goth outfit.
Yeah, that outfit she had on, I was like, "What the fuck is this?" I'm like, even if you changed your whole personality, whatever, for this man, like you could at least dress better. What the fuck are you wearing?
Kind of looking like a church girl.
Maria, what are your thoughts on Casey?
Like I know Casey was supposed to be the hero and stuff, but like I do not understand why, while they're him and Delilah were like hiding in the closet, and this man is straight up trying to kiss her. Like, Casey, focus. Like, I don't know. I thought it was weird. It was such a weird scene. But I guess, I mean, Casey was like, um, he was what he was. I guess he was just a nerd turned to like a hero, which I mean, he definitely deserves it. He, I think out of all of them, he's the one who was like, guys, like we have to fight all this. Um, which was cool. uh, but to be honest, I don't think he really like stood out to me, even though he was technically supposed to be like the main protagonist. But he was just kind of like there, you know. So honestly, I don't really have much thoughts about Casey except for that one weird scene, but that was about it.
Tuan, any thoughts on Casey?
Yeah, um I thought Casey was fine, and I like that we had a um someone who was actually keeping track of like everything that was happening, and trying to think of the word, um keeping track of everything. There's one I'm thinking of. It's not coming to me now, but I like that he was like no, he was basically noticing everything and keeping up on it, but due to like where they are in high school,
He was aware.
yeah, like he had that awareness factor, and like even if it wasn't like high school, and like no one would just believe you talking about like aliens and like shit like that's happening at like wherever. Um, but there were a lot of red flag things, especially with the principal when her body when the shower sequence, when I think that was Stan, and the principal like came out of the corner and like half her fucking head came off, like he didn't see nothing, like that was so crazy. And like I think it was Stan that thought like it was just a fine thing, but like Casey's like, no, like are y'all not? Did you like Stan? You were there. Like what do you mean? Like he like the fact that he had to put himself up so many times to like get everybody to notice is like crazy. But with a situation like that, it's like who's actually gonna like believe it? But I just like how aware he was and that he actually ended up being right. And they let the nerd get the win. But as we saw at the end of the movie, nobody believes him, and they're like suppressing it.
Maria, what are your thoughts on Delilah?
I mean, I can see like why her character was what it was. She was technically supposed to be um like a bitchy cheerleader, but I don't understand why. I guess she was so mean. And then at the end, she was like, "Actually, you guys, we're all cool." It was kind of weird because they never really like explained. I think they tried to when like her dad passed away, but then they never really got like deeper into it. Um but I really liked her character. Like she really got me when she was the one who was had the host or had the the parasite in that one scene. Like I did honestly did not think it was her. She was really smart with that, and I thought it was pretty good. Um, I just I don't know. I just don't understand her character. I guess I feel like we should have gotten some more from her. Um, yeah, I just wish I would have gotten more of Delilah.
Tuan, what are your thoughts on Delilah?
Yeah, I didn't mind Delilah's character. I will say I liked that she took, what's the word? She kind of believed a bit with Casey when he was trying to like tell her about the stuff, and when they were like hiding in the, I think it was the teachers' lounge to um see what was going on, and they like saw the coach and stuff. Put the parasite into the nurse and everything, and that's like what led her to like believe what was happening as well. But also, she ended up getting infected in some in between that, and also the scene when they were taking the drugs, which I just like that. I just like I said, I just like that scene and like the way that it played out because there's really like no way that she couldn't not do it. But the way that it played out was like really cool. But outside of that, like those like two moments really, and like leading up to them, and like first like act of the movie, Delilah didn't get like much play towards the like ending, like third act of everything. So she was a little bit underutilized, I would say, as well. And yeah, they didn't give her some much to work with in like the third act of the movie.
What are your thoughts on Mary Beth, the Queen Alien?
Mary Beth was definitely doing her little thing because nobody nobody was like suspected her at all, and she definitely like fooled like I mean we saw it as well. She fooled the fuck out of them with the whatever she did to like her nostril to like close it up when they asked her to snort the drugs or whatnot. That like that was crazy when you like saw that played back or whatever towards the end when they show what happened there. Um but she's like the most. She's like the perfect character for what they did with her, but also the most obvious. But when you're thinking about who it could be, you never go for the most obvious first. You always think outside of that, and then it did turn out to be her towards the end. And like she played up to like that like nice like new girl type of character who wants to be like in the know with the friends and stuff. So like she did really good with that, and she only just had to infect like one person really, which was the coach, and the rest of it was like whoever he infected after that. So she really didn't even have to do much. She put everybody else to do her bidding, and she just reveled in it until Casey got the last laugh.
Marie, what are your thoughts on Mary Beth?
Um, I agree with what Tuan said. Like I just, I just want to know why she kissed Zeke. Like, what was going on through her, like her evil mastermind? I want to take over this planet mind, and said, you know what? I want to kiss this boy. That's I guess my biggest thing, because especially because she kissed him and she didn't even infect him. Uh, Especially because I think she knew that he basically had, the answer to like taking her down, but she didn't even try to like get him. She just like she had the opportunity and
I
she
don't
was.
think that she could. I think because all the drugs he was doing and making, that she probably figured that she couldn't infect him.
I don't know. I still don't know why she kissed him, but I guess to each their own. Um, I mean, I liked her. I kind of knew it was her from the beginning, to be honest. I feel like she was being a little weird. Um, However, I also did kind of like the fact that um she wasn't taking over, Earth just to like destroy it or for some evil reason. I think she was just literally just lonely and trying to make, you know, just trying to connect with others, I guess. Cuz I think she does say why like at some point. I don't remember, but I remember it wasn't like a horrible like a reason. And I feel like that was very refreshing. I don't know. It was pretty cool. And I think it also matched the personality that she was honestly giving us throughout like the movie. Which I liked that. I liked that she didn't like, do like a 180 and suddenly she's like this horrible evil person. Like she was just kind of honestly herself the whole time. Um but I mean, and I also really liked her monster form. I like that it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. And I appreciated that. I Yeah, I mean, and yeah, she was definitely really smart with it, like with like plugging up like her nose. And I mean, for like an alien that apparently just landed, I feel like she did amazing. She almost took over the whole town. Good for her. Um
Girl
but
boss, we love it.
yeah, she did though.
Well, before we give our final thoughts on the movie, Tawan, can you give the people some behind the scenes info and
Yes, I
facts?
can. So, the faculty had a budget of 15 million and brought in a box office of around 63.2 million. A little bit of interesting facts. This was the film debut of musician Usher, who plays the eventual captain of the high school football team. There was a character named Venus, played by Kadada Jones, which was originally featured in the movie and had several scenes filmed, but unfortunately, those scenes ended up being cut from the movie. Although Kevin Williamson gets the written by nod in the opening credits, he was actually called in to do some rewrites and add hippier characters to an already complete script. Kevin Williamson was originally tasked with directing the film as well, but he decided to spend more time on writing and directing Teaching Mrs. Tingle, which released in 1999, and the director role in this movie went to Robert Rodriguez. The football team playing the games were a real high school football team from Lockhart, Texas, where they filmed the high school scenes. They even used people from the town to fill in the stands. And Tommy Hilfiger provided clothing for the filming of The Faculty. In exchange, the teen cast of the film were featured in a TV commercial for Tommy Jeans, which ran around the same time as the film. Little bit of critics' reactions. The film currently sits at a 55% on Rotten Tomatoes. Variety wrote, "The faculty works hard in mixing a candy cocktail of synastic in-jokes, affectionate teen ploitation, and high-octane suspense that's as enjoyable as it is impossible to take seriously." Salon called the film subversive and said its honest, good-natured junkiness feels like a relief. Entertainment Weekly gave the film grade B minus and expressed a wish that the film had used the faculty's characters more. And the New York Times gave a mostly negative review but praised the cast.
Well, now it's time for us. Do we praise the cast? Do we give it a negative review? Do we give it a positive review? Tuan, Maria, do we cash or pass the faculty? Maria?
Um, let Tawan go first.
I will give the faculty a cash. I'll definitely come back to this movie a lot of times. Like prior to us doing it here, um, it's just one of those like watches that is in like a rotation of things that like if I put it on, like I wouldn't mind this being on, and I also like show other people it as well if they haven't seen it, just like something to like put on. I like the cast that we got in here, and just like the story in general. Like I'm all like um I'm a fan of like things like this type of like invasion movies, so like things like that. So I always like that type of thing. So putting it in like a teen horror movie like thing as well, which another subgenre that I like, I'm okay with that, and I'll give it a cash.
It's a cash for me as well. Like Tuan, I also revisit this movie several times. This is actually the second time I have reviewed this movie for this podcast. This will be the first episode that goes to air, but this is the second time I've recorded a review for this, and I've cashed it both times. It's a movie I could just put on and watch. Don't have to think too much about it. Like there aren't that many like teen invasion movies. Like there are invasion movies and there's teen horror movies, but there's not that many teen invasion movies. And I thought that's a pretty cool concept. And the cast is like a who's who of people who are about to like be in big movies. Like this is before the Lord of the Rings. This is before Halloween H2O came out for Josh Hartnett. This was before the Fast and the Furious. Like this is like all these big stars before they hit like their big break. This is like you couldn't afford to get these same actors to do a movie together like currently. Like it'd be too much money. Like Selma Hayek alone is like expensive as shit. I'm pretty sure Famke Janssen is too, but this is a great movie, great cast. Is it a little wonky there? Yes, it is, but I rented out of a $5 bed. Maria,
Yeah, I mean, I cash. I agree. It's a like I said when I first watched it, it was a lot better than I thought. Like it definitely. I mean, yeah, like it is a little rough. It is a little like there's just some scenes you just kind of have to push through, but I think it's like worth it. Um, it has its moments, and I mean, there are some parts that are very cringy, but I think that's kind of the whole point. Like you're definitely supposed to get hit in the face with the fact that he was a nerd, he was an outcast, he was a cheerleader, um, which is great, and I think it just kind of makes the ending just even better. But I really liked it, so I'll give it a cash.
Can I ask a question before we end?
shoot.
So even though I know you don't like remakes, Mark, if they were to do this movie a remake, which like current young actors do you think they will put in this movie? And you too, Maria.
I'd be okay with unknowns
Interesting.
and probably have like one person to like have the adult cast be be the famous
Mm,
ones, but have like the kids be unknown because I mean, if you get like Jenna Ortega and then you get who else is around? Like anyone from Stranger Things, it's like we're gonna expect Jenna Ortega to probably be the alien, or we might expect the chick from Stranger Things to probably be the alien. So it's just like go unknown cast, let this be their big break, but have all the adults be famous people, which is kind of what they did with this movie,
that's true.
with the exception of Elijah Woods,
Who would you put in a
Maria.
remake of The Faculty, Maria?
Honestly, I agree with what Mark said. I definitely see that, if they put, somebody big as the teens, I don't think I would have had the same effect that this movie did. I think there are definitely some expectations.
Hmm.
But I would like to see some like famous people like as the faculty. It would definitely be really cool, actually. I would rather have that.
Because if you have all like big stars as the teens, it's kind of distracting from the story, and it's kind of
Yeah.
like you're going to overanalyze. And you're also going to expect more, and like this story, like even though it's a good movie, the story itself isn't that strong,
Yeah.
and so you kind of just like take it all in, but with like you would expect like known stars to like give you a bigger performance, and I think this movie is good because like I don't expect to see Jon Stewart acting. It's fucking Jon Stewart. Like
To
it's
be honest, I think
weird
it's
as
kind of
shit. And
good because it has undertones of it being really cheesy.
yeah, and if you see someone like Jenna Ortega in it or like Chloe Grace Moretz, it's like you can't play cheesy because we've seen you do all this other stuff that we can just tell you're acting and it's not coming off natural.
Yeah.
Like I don't. I think I gave myself a bad reputation here. I don't completely hate remakes. Completely. If you, there is like two remakes that I might enjoy. They aren't horror movies, but King Kong 76 is a great remake, and that's about it. I don't completely hate remakes. If you could do something a little bit different, I can appreciate what you've done. We're going to be reviewing it soon, but I think The Last House on the Left 2007 is pretty
Oh, that shit's
enjoyable. Is it better
crazy.
than the original? Is it better than the original? No, but is it good? Yes. Psycho 99, 98. That's completely fucking horrible. It's a horrible remake. It's bad. Halloween 2007, a completely horrible remake. I'm not completely against
You should
remakes.
watch the newest Godzilla movie. That was actually a very good remake.
No, see, then you make me say I hate remakes all over again with that statement. But join us next week as we review not a remake but something completely different. We're reviewing The Menu, a
Yay!
new kind of horror movie. So so tune in next week to listen to us review The Menu. We're gonna put our critics hats on. That was gonna be a pun, but I didn't really want to go through with it. So never mind. Thanks for listening, everyone. Good night. The Haddonfield Horrors podcast is a Letters to Media production.
Should we do an intro?